What if I told you that all of the videos, all of the media directed at putting more and more pressure on the United States government and federal agencies is working? There is a lot of pressure right now where people are resisting the statements that, oh, there is no Jeffrey Epstein client list, resisting this goofy cover-up. And it seems as if the pressure is working because it seems like very recently the Trump administration is debating releasing transcripts of Ghislaine Maxwell's interviews with the Department of Justice. And I have to say, I think that is some good news here. While it is absolutely an injustice that Ghislaine Maxwell is receiving preferential treatment because of the heinous and horrible crimes that she has committed, it does seem there is some angle here where she is providing as much information as possible and answering every question is what I'm reading. So hopefully all of the people who are guilty for these horrible, horrible crimes will be served justice and locked away forever. But I'm definitely not letting up with the videos. I'm not going to stop talking about it because releasing the transcripts of all of the questions that Maxwell has answered is just the beginning. The government needs to stop doing this silly cover-up and just admit the fact there is a client list and they need to release it. And I think this is a win. This is some progress. The fact that they're considering releasing this transcript, let's put the pressure on it. Let's get that transcript out and let's keep on applying pressure and start annoying people. I don't care what it takes. I will be making these videos 5 years from now if it means that at some point the Epstein list will be released. So the Justice Department has an audio recording of the interview it conducted with Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell last month, and the administration is considering releasing a transcript of the interview publicly, 3 senior administration officials told CNN. The existence of the recording has not been previously reported and comes at a time when the Trump administration is facing pressure to be more transparent with the information it has related to Epstein. Administration officials are currently discussing whether to release the transcript of Maxwell's interview with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, the 3 senior administration officials told CNN. The administration has been transcribing and digitizing the recording. Portions of the transcript that could reveal sensitive details like victim names would also have to be redacted, one of the officials said. As of Tuesday morning, the discussions over potential publication of the transcripts and the audio were ongoing. A final decision has not been made, one of the officials said. Another official told CNN, within the White House, some of the conversation has focused on whether making the details from the interview public would bring the Epstein controversy back to the surface at a time when many officials close to President Donald Trump believe the story has largely died down, which is such a load of barnacles. The story has not died down and people want the truth and people want it out in the open, and the victims deserve justice. However, the officials, many of whom have been frustrated with the rollout of the information regarding the Epstein case, have been eager to take control of the narrative and optics around the issue. 2 of the administration officials said if they were to release the audio and transcript, it would likely be done sooner rather than later. One said the release could be several weeks from now, depending on what the most senior level officials within the West Wing and Justice Department decide. It was not immediately clear whether the White House and DOJ were aligned on the issue. This is nothing more than CNN trying desperately to create news out of old news, Trump said, already addressed this issue in an interview with Newsmax, a real news outlet that routinely gets better ratings than CNN. White House Communicators Director Stephen Chung told CNN. CNN has reached out to the Justice Department. A lawyer for Maxwell declined to comment. As Trump has faced mounting pressure from his base for transparency, the White House has repeatedly said the Department of Justice should release all credible evidence in the Epstein files. Asked about Blanche's meeting with Maxwell last week, Trump again said he'd like to see everything in the files released. We'd like to release everything, but we don't want people to get hurt that shouldn't be hurt. And I would assume that was why he was there, Trump told Newsmax on Friday. The president said he hadn't spoke to Blanche about his meetings with Maxwell and didn't know when that information will be made public. I haven't spoken about it, but he's a very talented guy, Todd Blanche, and a very straight shooter, and I think he probably wanted to know, just to get a feeling of it, Trump said. CNN previously reported that a senior Trump administration official stated that the president is not currently considering clemency for Maxwell, though he has repeatedly left the door open on the matter in recent weeks, saying he's allowed to do it. Amid the clamor for more disclosures about the case, the House Oversight Committee on Tuesday issued nearly a dozen subpoenas to the Justice Department and high-profile Democratic and Republican figures for files and information related to Epstein. The subpoena from the GOP-led panel amounts to show of defiance by some Republicans against House Speaker Mike Johnson, who has attempted to tamp down congressional efforts to push for the release of more information, instead arguing Trump's administration should have time to act on the issue. Personally, my take is I don't really care if people who have committed horrible and heinous crimes get hurt. I don't know if that's like a hot topic opinion here. Like, do I feel bad that Epstein, whatever the heck happened, happened to him, whether he was killed or whether he commits suicide, it looks pretty clear that there's some fishy nonsense cover-up, and he definitely did not kill himself. But point being is it's extremely important for people on YouTube to continue making videos, commenting, engaging with the videos, and talking about this. It is so blatant that there is a major and mass cover-up unfolding before our eyes. And it really is frustrating that the people in power are just going to point and laugh at us and say, oh, you know what, this is stupid. No one cares about this. It's not true. People do care, and the victims deserve justice. And the people who should be behind bars should be behind bars. So I do hope that these transcripts are released to the public. I do hope that Maxwell releases and says out loud all of the incriminating evidence that they have, so that ultimately the goal can be achieved, that the victims get their justice and the people who are guilty are behind bars for as long as possible with no special treatment. So I just wanted to make this video because I think it's good to see that the pressure is working. So I'm going to continue making these updates, and I have to say I am still irritated that Maxwell was overnight quietly transferred to a lower security prison. That is just bad news. Point being, let's keep up the pressure. Let's keep talking about this so the Epstein client list that doesn't exist is released at some point, hopefully.